Hello everyone, I'm Tyler Rolls for First Updates Now, and you're watching Behind the Bumpers. It's a fun show where we take a deeper dive into FRC robots and what makes them work. And today I'm here with team number 7426, Pair of Dice Robotics from Las Vegas, Nevada. This team makes my list of new teams to look out for, especially with their rookie performance in 2019, which included a regional and division finalist appearance. And I'm here with McKenna, Evelyn, Jory, and Joseph. And we're going to be diving more into the modifications made on this robot, going from the entire power cell journey and a few other features that make this robot unique here on Behind the Bumpers.
Giving you a voice.
Making it loud our own way.
Welcome to the fun.
We would like to thank our friends at Stryker for supporting fun so we can continue to make content for you. Stryker is a leading medical device company and is looking for those in FIRST to join their team as interns or for a great career. Come join a company that will actively support you being in FIRST at careers.stryker.com. If you're on an FRC or FTC team and you're currently meeting safely in person and have a functional robot, we'd love to have you on our Behind the Bots or Behind the Bumper segments. Go ahead and reach out to us on any of our social channels, on Discord, or send us an email at admin@firstupdatesnow.com, and let's get your team scheduled to be on First Updates Now. So McKenna, on this robot here, this is a modified 2020 robot that's made for the at-home challenges. And I know you're going to start us out with the intake on here. You got a nice drop-down intake that's able to pull in from multiple angles. Tell us a little bit more about it.
So when we start off with our with the game, we start off with the intake being up to create like the whole hopper, and then when we kind of want to start intaking the power cells, we will release the intake, and they'll have like a 3-way kind of thing where we can get like a power cell from that side over there, and just like that. And thanks to the pneumatics, like the pressure kind of goes up and down as well.
So you got a lot of polycord on that intake there. What made you come up with this design of pulling in from multiple angles like this? And have the belts slipped at all? Have you had any issues with that type of intake?
For the decision of multiple things, I think it was just kind of like a more convenient way. Like if we had like a ball on the side that we couldn't really reach and just like kind of like slightly moved, we could have probably caught it. And I think there's been a couple, if not none, of the belts slipping. No, there hasn't been any like slippings of the polycords or the belt.
Sure. And is this intake the same as what your 2020 intake was?
It was practically similar, yes.
Sure. So if it works well, don't change it, right? There's nothing wrong with that at all. So we're going to move over to Evelyn, who's going to be talking about the indexer and the hopper and how it gets pulled in all the way up to the shooter. So run us through that and any changes you might have made on this robot as well.
Hello. Okay, so there's 2 ways to intake balls into our index. Obviously, for right here, we have from our intake and our hopper as well, as we previously explained. Once we have our intake up, we have a hopper right here, and we can intake balls from the player station. Otherwise, we roll it up using our nylon rollers and our polycord into the index. Now, the index is able to have the maximum of balls allowed within the body, and we slowly slip it up. So we have a gap right here, as previously, for our hopper that we were able to intake and to have our polycord to push it up here. Then here we have our roller. The roller is going the opposite direction to make sure that the ball does not go up until we're ready to have our flywheel at top speed and shoot it out.
What is that roller? What are those rollers made out of and the material that's on it?
They're nylon rollers. And then we have our polycord.
Okay. And for this, because this is your 2020 robot, you are still holding 5 power cells. Is that correct?
Yes.
So in the challenge, is there any consideration? So of course at home, you can only carry max of 3. Does that not really matter to your team in particular on that? Or you just kind of make sure you pay attention so you don't bring in more than 3 at any particular time?
Yeah, it's mainly on our operator to make sure that we don't intake more than's allowed.
But you got a good operator, right?
Yeah, a really good operator.
Awesome. So as we keep moving on here, we're going to be looking at the shooter now, which is looks like it's a 2-stage shooter from what I can tell. So a few different features on here, and Jory's going to be running us through the capabilities of this.
Absolutely. So once we actually get our power cell right up here onto this nylon roller and we were ready to shoot, we're actually starting to get that wheel or flywheel starting to go really fast. And once it hits that top speed, depending on how far away we are from our from the goal, depends on how we're going to change this. From our top one, that's if we're right next to it, so we can shoot it up and go ahead and get into that center port. And if we have it down, that means we're a little bit further away, and then we're going to go and shoot that from a further of a distance. But once we get set to a maximum, we go ahead and launch it as far as we can and go and get into the center port like we do most of the time.
You know, for that further back location, is there a specific area you tend to shoot from with that?
Yeah, we tend to shoot from where the color row was, right in between, right in front of it where we are protected, so we won't get defended and we won't get bumped in as well.
Sure. So as mentioned, you have a two-stage shooter and you're using some pneumatics for that as well too. What made you choose that route of using pneumatics versus a motor with an encoder or something like that as well?
So we went with the pneumatics because it gave us a little bit more control, and then it would also give us more opportunity to open up to like more ideas and to be able to like change things up quicker than we needed it to.
Do you adjust the speed of the shooter at all as you're on the field? Like if you need to shoot from somewhere else, have you done something like that? And is that done by the operator, or how does that work?
So it actually is with inside of our code itself. As you can hear, as that piston goes down, the wheels actually spin faster, and then when they are actually up, when they're up, they spin slower. So we can also get that into that power cell directly into the dead center of the center hole.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense on there. So sharp-looking machine, no doubt. So we're going to be moving over to Joseph, who's going to be talking about some of the electrical and then the design process behind the robot itself, and then a little bit more on the converting from 2020 to 2021, Joseph.
For sure. So we learned a lot from our rookie year. We made almost everything with a bandsaw. So we got a lot of our parts fabricated this year. So we have like those nylon rollers were made with drill press and some pretty fancy mills. We do have a couple PVC parts in there, but we did weld our entire bot this time as opposed to using aluminum brackets. So that's another upgrade we made here. And for when it comes to electrical, we have our whole board on almost one side, and we wired pretty like standard way. It'd be wired, and we have some encoders here too onto our drivetrain, and so that's going to be for the autonomous challenges where we score those balls automatically, as well as driving. We're trying to get some sub 20 times right now, and we've been pretty successful for this 2021 challenge, getting those sub 20 times, and we're really pushing ourselves this year to get sub 15. We believe we can get 12 seconds or less on these challenges, and we will be competing in all of them. We feel like this team has the capabilities and the potential to do really well, and almost I'm pretty confident we can win this year.
So looking at the at-home challenges in particular, is there one that you think your team really excels at, or one of the challenges you're like, hey, this just really speaks to me versus some of the other ones?
Yeah, so our driver, Barrett, he's insane. He's literally the best driver I've ever seen. He's whipping out this challenge as fast as I've ever seen. I've been asking around other teams, and I haven't heard anyone get times as fast as he has on these teleoperated challenges. He's been our operator since we started our rookie year, and he's never let us down.
That's pretty impressive with the West Coast drive as well, too. We're starting to see, quite a few teams are trying out a swear drive either for the first time or moving over. So it's encouraging to hear that West Coast drives have a place in the at-home challenges as well. Yeah,
they're definitely not inept yet.
For sure. Well, 7426, thank you so much for telling us about your robot and your team. As mentioned, I saw you guys compete in 2019 as a rookie. Was incredibly impressed with what your team brought to the table, and I really can't wait to see the performance that it brings at the at-home challenges this year and in years beyond. So good luck this year and in future seasons.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
We would like to thank our friends at Stryker for supporting this video. Stryker is looking for current and future FIRST alumni to join their internship program and FIRST mentors who are looking for a great career with a company who actually supports their FIRST journey. Go to careers.stryker.com to learn more. You can also directly support Fun by joining Fun Nation. Click the join button, and just for a few bucks a month, you'll unlock special perks and directly support us so we can keep making great content. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on our new videos. Keep the conversation going and provide your input to our content. Watch our live shows at twitch.tv/firstupdatesnow. Join our Discord at discord.gg/firstupdatesnow. And check out Fun FTC on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and First Updates Now on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter.